Hello everyone, welcome to Educate 247. This is the 8th lecture on MCQ revision series and the topic for today is Reform Movement Part 2. In this lecture, we will be able to revise all the reform movements in detail. It will consist of two parts, Part 2 and Part 3. Few reform movements will be included in this lecture and the upcoming lecture will include another few reforms. So let's begin. The question is, what are the features of Brahmo Samaj? So Brahmo Samaj, as you knew, was founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. They have asked us the features of Brahmo Samaj. It denounced polytheism and idol worship. It criticized the caste system. It discarded the faith in divine avatars. It took no definite stand on the doctrine of karma and transmigration of soul and left it to the individuals to believe in either way. So the answer to this question is all of the above. So we know that Brahmo Samaj was founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and Raja Ram Mohan Roy is called as the father of Indian Renaissance. So the movement which he started is very important, okay, and we have to know the features of each movement because each movement had different features. Like Brahmo Samaj, Raja Ram Mohan Roy did not want to form a new religion, but he only wanted to purify Hinduism of all the evil practices had crept in. So what he said, he denounced in polytheism, he did not have faith in idol worship, he criticized the caste system, he discarded the faith in divine avatar. So if you go to see, Brahmo Samaj was founded in, Brahmo Sabha, and it was renamed as Brahmo Samaj. So if they asked, Raja Ram founded the Brahmo Sabha in 1828, it was renamed as Brahmo Samaj. So Brahmo Sabha was renamed as Brahmo Samaj. And also in 1814, Raja Ram Mohan Roy set up the Atmiya Sabha. Okay, so Atmiya Sabha was founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy in Calcutta to propagate the monistic ideals of Vedanta and to campaign against idol worship, caste rigidness, meaningful rituals and social evils. Okay, so it was based on the twin pillars of Vedanta and Upanishads. So Raja Ram Mohan Roy not only founded the Brahmo Sabha, but he also founded the Atmiya Sabha. Okay, and as I told you, he did not want to establish a new religion. He only wanted to purify it. And some of the features are that it denounced polytheism, as all these features I told you. But there is one thing, okay, of the Brahmo Samaj. It took no definite stand on the doctrine of karma and on the transmigration of soul. So if they give you an option, it took definite stand, it is wrong. And later, his ideas and activities were not only aimed at political upliftment of the masses, but also social reforms. As in the previous lecture you saw, he helped in the abolition of sati. The regulation of 1829 was passed, which led to the abolition of sati. He not only took to remove caste rigidness, meaningless rituals, but also social reform movements like abolition of sati. And he also wanted to disseminate the benefits of modern education to his countrymen. So for this purpose, he supported David Hare's efforts to found the Hindu College, and he himself founded the Vedanta College. So he not only took all these reforms, but he also founded the Vedanta College, and this Vedanta College offered courses both in Indian learning and Western social physical sciences. So the Vedanta College, who founded it? It was Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and this Vedanta College, it offered not only courses in Indian learning and but also Western social and physical science. And if they tell you that Hindu College was founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, it is wrong. He only supported David Hare's efforts in the formation of Hindu College. What did Raja Ram Mohan Roy establish? He established the Vedanta Society. So let's see in short about the Brahmo Samaj. It was founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. It was earlier called as Brahmo Sabha, and besides Brahmo Samaj, he also founded the Atmiya Sabha. And Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he did not want to form a new religion. He only wanted to purify the religion because of the all the bad and evil practices which had crept into it. He also wanted to spread education. For that reason, he founded the Vedanta College. He supported David Hare's efforts in founding the Hindu College. He also helped in the regulation of he also helped in the abolition of sati. As a result, the regulation of 1829 was passed. He took no definite stand on the doctrine of karma and transmigration of soul. So these are all the features of the Brahmo Samaj. He also, and Raja Ram Mohan Roy is therefore known as the father of Indian Renaissance and the maker of modern India. So he also did not, so because of all these good things which Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he is regarded as the father of Indian Renaissance. What are the good things? No grave image worship, statue or sculpture, against the caste rigidness. And how did these people in the Brahmo Samaj, what are the various forms of worship in the Brahmo? Prayers, meditations, readings of the Upanishads, all these were the forms of worship, but no image worship. So you saw that after the death of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, it was Devendranath Tagore who further took the movement ahead. So it was Devendranath Tagore, who was the father of Rabindranath Tagore, gave a new life to the Brahmo Samaj. Devendranath Tagore is associated with Tattvabodhini Sabha. So after the death of Rabindranath Tagore, it was Devendranath Tagore who was associated with Tattvabodhini Sabha. He gave a new life to Brahmo Samaj. Also, I will tell you, so we saw Atmiya Sabha, Brahmo Samaj, Brahmo Sabha. There is also another movement known as the Adi Brahmo Sabha. Okay, I'll write it down for you. So it was the Adi Brahmo Samaj. The Adi Brahmo Samaj is associated with Debendranath Tagore. So if they tell you Brahmo Samaj of India, that was related to Keshav Chandra Sen. Keshav Chandra Sen was also a part of the Brahmo Samaj, but later he was associated with Brahmo Samaj of India. So remember that. And Adi Brahmo Samaj was associated with Debendranath Tagore. Next question. Which of the following is incorrect about the Young Bengal movement? So here they have asked us the incorrect statement, and in order to know the incorrect statement, you have to know all the features of the Young Bengal movement. So let us see the options. It was founded by Henry Vivian Derozio. The Derosians supported women's rights and education. They had a long-term impact. Okay, it demanded induction of Indians in higher grades of service, protection of ryots from the oppressive zamindars, better treatment of Indian labor abroad and British colonies, revision of companies' charter. So, the Young Bengal movement, they have asked us which is the incorrect statement. The incorrect statement is they had a long-term impact. The Derosians did not have a long-term impact. The main reason for this was limited success was the prevailing social conditions at that time, which were not ripe for the adoption of radical ideas. So the Young Bengal movement had many radical ideas, as they decided to oppose the customs, the traditions, to question all authority, to love radical movements. They had a limited impact because the conditions prevalent were not ripe to support this movement, and also they lacked a real link with the masses. They failed to take up the peasants' cause. So the peasants were most suffering during the British rule, and in fact they constituted as most of the population during that time. And since they didn't take up the peasants' cause, high rent to be paid, the Rayatwari system which oppressed the peasants, this cause was not taken up, and as a result they did not have a real link, and all these views which they were given were only bookish in nature. So as a result of that, they did not have a long-term impact. But let us see the other features. But who founded it? It was Henry Vivien de Rousseau. Okay, he was a teacher at the Hindu college. Okay, so Henry Vivien de Rousseau was a teacher at the Hindu college here, and college it was Rabindranath, and it took its inspiration from French Revolution. So it said that it opposed all the customs, traditions, and it said question all authority. Okay, but one thing which lacked is that it did not have a long lasting impact. Okay, but in spite of these limitations, they carried forward some of Rajaram's tradition of public education on the various ills. They demand, for instance, like they told that at least induction of the Indians in higher grades of service, protection of ryots from oppressive zamindars, better treatment of Indian result. So in spite of this backdrop, that they had certain positive aspects as well. Later, Surendranath Banerjee was to describe these people as the pioneers of modern civilization of Bengal. So who are called as the modern civilization of Bengal? Who called them? Surendranath Banerjee regarded them as the modern civilization of Bengal. And who were they regarded as? The de Rousseauians, the Young Bengal movement, were regarded by Surendranath Banerjee as the modern civilization of Bengal. Next question. Arrange the following in chronological order. So the first one is Satya Shodhak Samaj. Who founded the Satya Shodhak Samaj? It was Jyotiba Phule. Okay, Jyotiba Phule founded the Satya Shodhak Samaj. Ramakrishna movement mission by Swami Vivekananda. Arya Samaj by Dayanand Saraswati, and Farmansana Mandali by Dadoba Pandurang. So they have asked us to arrange them in the year of the formation. So the first thing out of these was the Farmasana Mandali. So the Farmasana Mandali was founded in Maharashtra in the year 1849. Okay, it was founded by Dadoba Pandurang. It was a secret society that worked to reform the Hindu religion and society. So this was in this question, this was the first to be formed. The second one which was to be formed was Satya Shodhak Samaj. The Satya Shodhak Samaj was founded in 1873. It was founded by Jyotirao Phule with the leadership coming from the backward class Malis, Telis. So the main objective of Satya Shodhak Samaj was education among the women and lower caste and social service. It worked a lot for the upliftment of the lower caste, and it did a lot of social service. In fact, his wife helped in the women's education. Okay, so Savitribai Phule, with his wife, they started a girls' school at Pune. He was also a pioneer of widow remarriage in Maharashtra and opened a widow's home in 1854. So Satya Shodhak Samaj founded by Jyotiba Phule. It worked for social service, education. His wife Savitribai Phule did a lot for the women's education, for the education among lower class people. Okay, it was founded in 1873. And his works, which are his papers, it was Sarvajanik Satya Dharma and Gulmagiri. These two works became an inspiration among the common masses. Then the next to be formed is Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj, as you know, it was a revivalist movement. It was founded in the year 1875 by Dayanand Saraswati. So Dayanand Saraswati, he founded the Arya Samaj first in Mumbai in 1875, and later the headquarters of this Samaj was established in Lahore. So Dayanand Saraswati subscribed to the view of Chaturvana system, in which a person was not born in any caste but was identified as a Brahmin Kshatriya on the basis of occupation. And one thing of Arya Samaj is they also fixed the minimum marriageable age at 25 for boys and 16 for girls. So one such feature of Arya Samaj is they fixed the age for the children. As you saw before, the Age Consent Act, which was passed by B.A. Malabari, the Sharda Act, these acts have also fixed the children's age because child marriage was prevalent a lot. So one of the features of Arya Samaj was they also fixed the marriageable age for boys and girls. Okay, and this Samaj helped the people in crises like floods, famines, earthquake. It also gave a new direction to education. The Dayanand Anglo-Vedic school established, which sought to emphasize the importance. So not only social reforms, it also helped in the spread of education. So Arya Samaj, founded by Dayanand Saraswati, is another important movement. And the last, which was founded in the chronological movement, was Ramakrishna movement. This is also a very important movement. So actually there were two Ramakrishna mission. Okay, there were two objectives of the Ramakrishna movement. One is to bring into existence a band of monks dedicated to a life of renunciation and practical spirituality, and the second one is in philanthropic work, charitable works for all men. So for the second work, that is for social service and charitable work, the Ramakrishna mission was set up. It was taken by Swami Vivekanand. So the Ramakrishna mission was started in the year 1897. It primarily worked for social services, charitable works, etc. And there were two things about the Ramakrishna movement. One is, which I told you, and the other is social service. So social service league was taken up by Swami Vivekanand through the Ramakrishna mission. Yeah. The next question: who took inspiration from the Vedas and considered them to be India's rock of ages, the infallible and the true original seed of Hinduism? So sometimes UPSC asks questions like these important keynotes from various movements and who said them, like which movement it is referred to. So here a very important thing, that India's rock of ages, the infallible true seed of Hinduism. So it regarded the Vedas as infallible. Which of that movement was it started? Like, is it Raja Ram Mohan Roy? Is it Dayanand Saraswati? Is it Keshav Chandra Sen? Or is it Ratkan Dev? So the answer to this question is Dayanand Saraswati. And what did Dayanand Saraswati start? He started the Arya Samaj, and he said that his vision of India was included a classless and casteless society, united India and free from foreign rule, with Aryan religion being the common religion. He took inspiration from the Vedas and considered them to be India's rock of ages, the infallible and true religion seed of Hinduism. So this is a very important question from UPSC point of view. Last question is the pledge movement aimed at inspiring people about. So who started the pledge movement, or what was it associated with? The pledge movement was actually started, the pledge movement was launched at the Indian Social Conference. There was a certain reason why it was launched. Was it against child marriage? Was it against sati? Was it against child labor? Or was it against untouchability? And the answer to this question is it was against child marriage. So you saw the problem of child marriage was so grievous, it was so bad that various movements took up this problem, and this pledge movement, which was launched by the Indian Social Conference, it took up the question against, it took a pledge against child marriage. So let us see something more about the Indian Social Conference. The Indian Social Conference was founded by M.G. Ranade and Raghunath Rao. M.G. Ranade and Raghunath Rao founded the Indian Social Conference in the year, and they annually met from the first session in Madras in 1887 at the time and venue as the Indian National Congress. So Indian National Congress, you know, now Indian Social Conference founded by M.G. Ranade and Raghunath Rao, it met at the same place and venue where INC had their meeting. And this Indian Social Conference, its main attention was on social issues. That is why Indian Social Conference. So its main attention was social issues. It could be called as the social reform cell, like intercaste, opposed polygamy, okay, and advocated intercaste marriages, opposed polygamy and culinism. So in this regard, it started the pledge movement, which was, it pledged against the child marriage. Thank you and happy learning.